Good day, everybody. Welcome to Mind Prosperity. It's so great to have you guys. Thank you so much for listening, and thank you so much for being part of this channel. We really do hope that you guys are getting some amazing information to better your life. So with Mind Prosperity, and the reason we called the company Mind Prosperity is we believe that where your mind goes, your life follows. So the goal with our sessions and the goal with the things that we are doing is to get you guys to think about some certain things and to ponder on, to evaluate some things. And after you thought about it, after you've evaluated it, you can mentally and practically apply it in your life, because we do believe it's going to make you successful. If you want to know more about Mind Prosperity, please go visit our website at www.mindprosperity.co.za. There's like a lot of information you guys can get about what we do, about the companies we have spoken at, and what we are busy with. So thank you so much for watching. Today we're going to speak about 5 ignored success factors that is holding you back. What are some success factors that people don't apply? Why don't they apply them? And how are these factors holding them back? And this is going to be like an encouragement for you guys to maybe apply some of this stuff to use it in your life. And I also want to encourage you, if you have any questions or any statements about what I'm saying, please leave me a comment and I will see if I can answer you, or maybe do a video about it in the near future. So thank you about that. I have a lot of information today with me that I'm gonna give to you guys. Gonna speak about it a bit. I'm gonna give you guys some information that I researched on some of these factors. But today I'm going to give you 5 things. And I also do want to ask if you believe that this information is helping you. Please subscribe to our channel. We are really trusting to get to 1,000 subscribers, and your subscription can help us with that. And also send this video on to people, because we do believe it can help them and their information as well. Okay, so let's start. 5 ignored success factors that can hold you back if you keep on ignoring them or if you don't apply them. I remember I was in we were at this restaurant once, and there were people who were married, there were people with children, and somebody asked me this question. They said, "Are you ready to get married yet?" And I said, "Well, I don't think anybody is ever ready to get married." And they looked at me with this, this wide eyes and this gasp, like, what? Can't you get ready to get married? You are a person, because I do like premarital courses, and I do weddings, and I prepare people for marriage, and can't you be prepared for marriage? And I'm like, well, I do think there are some things that you can do to get a better understanding and to prepare yourself better. But can you ever be ready? I think no. I think you get ready as you do it. Some things you have to do, or I think most things in life you have to do without being like fully or 100% ready. You start to do them. And I think it's the same with kids, because somebody asked me, what about kids? And I said, with kids it's the same thing. I don't think everybody is just 100% ready. I think there's like a lot of surprises that comes with it. Now, I don't have kids myself, but I know a lot of people who have kids, and yeah, you kind of see that. There's like a lot of surprises, things that people didn't expect that comes with it. So you get ready in the process. One thing I can say about Mind Prosperity, about my own business, when I started it, I didn't know anything about business back then. I know a lot. I already knew a lot about the mind, a lot about emotional intelligence. So today we do a lot of sessions on emotional intelligence and mindset, and I'm busy writing new material on emotional intelligence, mindset, leadership, things like that. Yeah, and I knew a lot about that, but I didn't really know a lot about business. I sought out a lot of mentors that are still part of my life, that is still part of my life today. But I cannot say when I started Mind Prosperity, like I knew a lot about, like I wasn't ready for business. I just had an idea. I had something that I wanted to do, and I started to do it. So a lot of times this fear of I have to know everything, and it has to be the perfect, like I have to have all this information. Everything has to be perfect for me to start and for me to have this amazing idea out there. It's yeah, I think a lot of times it's a risk, and sometimes you have to take the risk. There's a story called Young Sheldon. It's from the series, or a prequel to the series The Big Bang Theory, where Sheldon Cooper is in The Big Bang Theory. If you haven't seen it, it's about scientists. And in Young Sheldon, his sister Missy said one thing. She said, "Yes, I'm afraid, but it's okay to be afraid as long as you do it anyway." Now, a lot of times this kind of fear of failure, of what if things don't happen the way I wanted to, keeps people back. And if that keeps on, registering in your mind, and it keeps on keeping you back, and you were like, it has to be perfect, everything has to be perfect for me to start, it's never going to happen, because you learn in the process. Sometimes you just have to step out, do what you have to do, and you have to learn in the process. So that's the main idea that I want to speak about today that keeps people back, is that whole thing of everything has to be perfect, everything has to look like it's going to work out. And by that, I'm not saying don't take calculated risks. It's good to calculate. It's good to do research. It's good to eliminate the things that can cause you to fail as far as you can. But it's not something that you can always do. So let's start. I'm going to give you guys the 5 ignored success factors holding you back. And number 1 is give everything with plan A. Give everything with plan A. And a lot of people want like a net to fall back on, and what if this fails? And this is too risky. I'm not really against that, but I remember when I started with Mind Prosperity, I was like, there's nothing else on planet Earth that I want to do. I'm gonna have to make this work. I'm gonna have to give everything to make sure this works. And I've got the right mentors in my life, I believe, as far as I'm here. I've allowed the right people in my life, people who taught me, people who are still teaching me today to go forward. I'm a believer, so I pray every day, and I trust every day. And yeah, every single day I wake up with this mindset of I am going to make this work. Now, sometimes you have to work a bit on plan A and adapt to certain things and adjust certain things in plan A. I remember I listened to an interview between Ed Mylett and John Maxwell this week about public speaking. And because I want to do public speaking, I already do public speaking, but I want to grow, I want to do it better. So I was listening to this interview, and there's something that John Maxwell said. He said a good coach has a great game plan, but a great coach, or an excellent coach knows how to make adjustments during halftime. So the plan or the vision or the idea doesn't change, but a lot of times you have to make adjustments. But stick with plan A, stick with the goal, stick with what you want to achieve. It might take a bit long, it might be a rocky road, but don't quit. And I know a lot of people out there will keep on telling you, no, you should quit, you're not good enough, this is not going to work. I think one of the most inspiring stories for me is the story of J.K. Rowling, where she became one of the most successful writers in the world. Her books sold millions and millions of copies. And her first book, The Philosopher's Stone, 12 publishers said to her, this book is not good, it's not going to sell, we're not going to promote it. Only the 13th publisher said to her, this is good. And she was struggling financially. She had to support her family. Her husband left, or she and her husband got divorced. So she was in a very bad space, and people kept on telling her, your plan A isn't going to work. But because she stuck with it, and yeah, she might have made some adjustments and stuff, but she eventually became very successful. Robert Greene, in his book, The 33 Strategies of War, said the following. He said, often we try too many things at one time, thinking that one of them will bring success. But in these situations, our minds are diffused and our efforts half-hearted. It is better to take one daunting task, even one that others think is foolish. Our future is at stake. We cannot afford to lose, so we win. It's that time where you cannot afford to lose. That's the time where you will really win. And when we speak about mind prosperity, it's always difficult to be successful in an area if you put your mind at so many different places and so many different areas the whole time. But if you can sit down, stay focused, and it's sometimes difficult with my personality, I have to say, I'm a person that's my mind is all over the place, and I have to train myself and teach myself. And I teach this in my sessions as well, to get your mind focused and back to a place where you can really be into it and say, this is what we're going to do, and we're going to stick with it. I have to sit myself down and say, listen, you have to focus, you have to write, you have to finish this material, get your mind off the other things and start focusing. The second thing, act when you don't feel ready. And this correlates or connects so well to the stories I told earlier about, are you really ready for marriage? Are you really ready for children? No, you get ready in the process. You can prepare yourself in a certain way, but to wait until you are 100% ready, there's always going to be surprises. So act even when you don't feel 100% ready. And I want to add again, prepare yourself as much as you can, but there's never going to be a time where you feel 100% ready for this. There's a Chinese proverb that said the best time to plant a tree was 20 years ago. The second best time is now. So maybe you should have started yesterday, but if you didn't, the best time to do something is now. Even if you just start with planning, even if you just start with research, even if you just start with getting a team together. Number 3, don't hesitate to venture into the new. Because we are creatures of habit, and I teach a lot about the subconscious mind, and the best way I can explain the subconscious mind is habit. But if you don't start to change your mind, you're going to stay stuck in the same habit. They say we think close to 90,000 thoughts a day, and 90% or 60,000 to 90,000 thoughts a day. We think every third second or every 3 seconds a thought comes in. And they say 90% of the thoughts that you will think today will be the same as yesterday, will be the same as the day before. Unless you start to change your mind and start imagining, start thinking about, start planning, and start doing new things. If you don't do new things, if you don't start to think new thoughts, if you don't make new plans, if you don't go on new adventures, if you don't put something new in your imagination, Dr. Joe Dispenza said it this way. He said, your familiar past will then become your predictable future. If you don't change your mind, if you don't put something new in your mind, if you don't do something new, your life is just going to go in the same direction. And your life might even be going well, but we want to grow, we want to expand, we want to do some new things. And this is one of the factors that cause people not to be successful. They don't want to do anything new. And it's difficult for the body because we are creatures of habit. The body loves habit. But sometimes we have to get the body submitted and say, listen, the mind is in charge now, and we are going to do something new. Bob Goff said, embrace uncertainty. Some of the most beautiful chapters in our lives won't have a title until much later. It won't have a title until much later. You cannot really say what it is until much later. And therefore, we need to embrace uncertainty. Number 4, and I love number 4 because it's something that I, used to struggle with. I'm much better. But the reason I love number 4 so much, it's something that keeps a lot of people in a place of unsuccess, if that's a word, or keeps them from not becoming successful. And that's the whole idea of critics, haters, other people's opinions. This is because, remember, most people in life don't have a mindset of growth, don't have a mindset of success. I remember I watched an interview between Lewis Howes and Bob Proctor. And Lewis Howes said, you cannot sit and watch the news the whole day because it's negative information. They don't give positive information at the news. And then Lewis Howes said, that doesn't mean you cannot watch the news to see what's going on. And then Bob Proctor said something very interesting. He said, you don't have to watch the news to know what's going on. People will tell you what's going on, even if you don't watch the news, because people are naturally wired with a negative mindset, and people normally speak about the negative things. So you don't have to go look at the negative things to find out what's going on in the world. People will tell you. So most of the people that you might encounter will not necessarily support or be behind you with your dreams and what you want to do and what you want to accomplish, because most people are naturally negatively wired in their mindset. So number 4 brings us to use haters and critics to your advantage. Use them to your advantage. Don't use them to deplete you. Use them to energize you. Frank Sinatra said, the best revenge is massive success. If people say you cannot do something, show them that you can. And I'm not saying you should do this to please people or to impress people, but you can use the negative comments to energize you. And I've spoken a lot about the law of polarity. The law of polarity is like a battery. A battery has a positive side and it has a negative side. Everything in life has a positive side and a negative side. And the bigger the negative side is, the bigger the positive side is. The higher something is, the lower it is. The more there's heat, the more they can be cold in the opposite direction. That's what the law of polarity says. They are always opposite. They are always something good in the negative. So if people are negative, if people hate you, if people criticize you, if people have something to say about you, you can still use that and use that for your success. And number 5, and this is the one that I'm going to finish with, be happy but never satisfied. Happiness is good. You must be happy with what you have. You should never get to a place where you should be thankful for what you have. Thankfulness, waking up in the morning and say, thank you for this, thank you for this, thank you for this, I'm thankful. It keeps you in a very happy, good, joyful, emotional state. But dissatisfaction is a creative state. Listen to what Bob Proctor said. He said, you should be happy with what you got, but never satisfied. Dissatisfaction is a creative state. So happiness means I'm happy, I'm content, I'm building from a place of contentment, not towards contentment, but I always want to grow. I'm never just going to be satisfied with where I am. There's a guy called Charles Niemann, and he once said, the greatest key to failure is to be a caretaker. Just take care of what you got. But the greatest key to success is to be a builder, to keep on building. In whatever area in your life you want to be successful in, keep on building, and use these 5 things to become successful. These are things that normally keeps people back, but you can use it for your success. From Mind Prosperity, thank you so much for watching. We are so excited to have you with us, and we are looking forward to see you soon again. We love you, and goodbye.